Welcome back to another wonderful episode of Welcome to Web3. Last few episodes we really focused on the Bitcoin halving, and we thought we'd kind of take a little step away from that. Yeah, it's a few days away, but we thought we'd talk about so a really good question that came up when Martien was presenting this last week. So Martien, do you want to give a little bit of context behind it, and then we'll dive in?
Yeah, of course. Well, I did a presentation about Web3, AI, blockchain, crypto, etc., to quite a diverse audience. And after the presentation, a few people came up and they said hi to me and they asked questions. And as one of the biggest questions was they all had, what should we invest in? So what are the tokens that we should invest in? I was like, blank. Well, not blank, but it's really difficult to tell people what to invest in. I'm like, no, I'm not going to tell you what to invest in, but okay, I can tell you about some interesting concepts that people are really interested in right now. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. I mean, we've spoken a little bit about before where people do kind of give that advice and you've got copy trading, but this is more just a bit more of a generous approach, right? We were talking about tools that are at your disposal and different strategies or tactics you can take. This may be not quite like the bull market strategy that we've been talking about, which is trying to make a lot of money so we can all retire nice and early. But this might be the kind of investing in cryptocurrencies in the long run, you know? Yeah, should we talk about, I mean, there was a really nice one you mentioned about CoinGecko and how that split up into different sectors.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a few sectors that are hot right now that are up and coming. And we've talked about a lot of these. I mean, most people know the AI sector, the AI crypto tokens are super hot. They already started their run in October, November, and they're already quite up, but they'll continue up when we have, alt season, which we haven't started yet because Bitcoin's been dominant. Once Bitcoin's dominance drops, and after the halving, although halving will make it more scarce, but anyway, it will drop at some point, and we're expecting that to happen in the May timeframe when alt season starts, and that's when Bitcoin slows down and the money flows out of Bitcoin into all of these alternative cryptos. And there's 5,000-6,000. There's so many of them. So people are wondering, which one should they get into? What's safe to buy? They have no idea where to start. No. And so if you look at these sectors, so AI is hot, gaming is hot again. Gaming, DeFi tokens are hot. DePin tokens, DePin. Yeah, that's decentralized physical infrastructure networks, and those are hot because of the AI craze, and AI processing takes so much processing power that there's a whole movement in crypto to decentralize disk space and storage and stuff so that people can use GPUs. That's why NVIDIA has gone so high, because people with these like super powerful GPUs like gaming PCs and stuff like that can use their unused processing power to support these networks and to actually, rent out their space, rent out their processing power and make extra money, make passive income.
But DePin is not only about processing power, right? Because a friend of mine, he told me about a project that you can just attach a little device in your car and you can just run around or drive around the country or wherever you live. And then it sees where you're driving, and it's kind of a new Google Maps, but it needs to have all that information, of course. So all those little nodes, little devices are in the cars of people, and then they drive around and all the information is collected. That's DePin as well.
That's right. That's where it's Internet of Things, where all the things start, have sensors on them, just like our DTMs from Constellation.
Yes.
Those are foot traffic.
I have one in my door. In my office, and every time you walk by, it's tracking the people that are passing through your door. And then we have one in the Netherlands in the shop. We took care of that. There's one in the shop, and it's actually counting traffic. That's DePin as well.
Yeah, so all this stuff connects to networks, decentralized networks that individuals have a piece of their nodes on the network, or their device is a node, whatever that looks like, or a sensor, and it's validating data all across all the networks and everything. And they're getting paid in crypto for that. So that's how the reward system, the economies work that way with DePin. So that's a big one.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we have RWA, real world assets.
Yeah. That's a big one too. Like XLM, Stellar, actually they have like more than 50%. I didn't even know this because Stellar's kind of been under the radar, just growing, under the radar. They've got over 50% of tokenized assets on their chain. They had just had a deal with Franklin Templeton, who put treasury assets, tokenized treasury assets.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And that's a big one. We talked about that a little bit in our last meeting.
But Andrea, how do you figure out what tokens are DePin, RWA, gaming tokens? How we know a bit, but we don't know everything. But we know a few coins that are connected to these concepts. But how do you figure that out?
We have a helpful little site called CoinGecko. I have a T-shirt from them. I kept collecting candies, and I want to swag pack. Anyway, so it's a site that basically, it's super helpful. There's CoinMarketCap as well. CoinMarketCap is run by Binance, I think, and CoinGecko's, I think it's on its own. But basically, it categorizes all the crypto, all the different types. It gives you the list by market cap, like on their homepage, and then they have tabs where you can look at sectors, and they have RWA, AI, gaming, and then they sort it by market cap, so you can see the biggest, most popular tokens are on the top. And that's probably, if you're a newbie and getting in, you probably want those. Those are considered the blue chip cryptos, and you probably want to get some of those on top, and the sectors that they break out. There's some interoperability layer 1s, layer 2s, stuff like that. A lot of these are going to do well, but real world assets is really hot. AI is really hot. DeFi is going to be hot.
DeFi is, but no financial advice.
Yeah,
not financial advice. Sorry. Yeah.
I think as well, if you go back to the kind of the question, or the lady that approached you at the end of that talk, Martien, it's really like if you're thinking about jumping in, what things excite you? Often if you're following a project that you might have something sort of like interesting, you're more likely then to follow that. You might actually enjoy being a part of the Telegram community or following them on Twitter, X. So that's always a nice way. So if you see anything that you recognize or you would happily do some research on, I think then once you're invested, then you can become either a valued part of that community because you've got insight yourselves and you can help drive that, or be a voyager in the group, but you can kind of see what's happening, and then it's a bit more interesting rather than just having a faceless coin that you don't really know what it does. Or you might be big into AI, but you realize that they've got a new DePin project that's underpinning something you use every day in your workspace. Those sorts of connections, for me personally, that's always what I think is a nice way to go about it. If you've either got as soon as you kind of invest, you've got a bit more of a vested interest, right? Because then you want it to go up. But that's a nice way to kind of get in. If there's any sort of link, or it might be as simple as I like sports, and this is to do with AI and sports, or something like that. Those sorts of things usually help you get a bit more engaged, and you might then find like-minded people in the community as well, because that's what Web3 is about, right? People love the community, love or hate them, depending on how it's going. But that's what I find as well. Being a part of something you believe in is always pretty good.
Absolutely, and you can see those profiles on the on CoinGecko. They have a profile of the crypto and links to all of their official community groups, so you can use that as your source, CoinGecko, and then or CoinMarketCap, and then go in and click through and look at the communities. Absolutely.
There's another cool. There's two apps actually that I use. There's one called Lunar Crush, which if I'm following a project, it shows me that the top influencers on that, which I think is really interesting. So you see what they're talking about, the things that they're kind of what's pushed the price, those sorts of things. I think there's another one called like Liz AX. I'll confirm that and send it in the group after so you can have it in. But it's a really nice way again to, you might go onto that. Your journey could be go onto CoinGecko. I'm really into AI, and we've talked to you about DePin, and you might want to get into a coin that follows that. Then you can search that on something like Lunar Crush. You start seeing the influencers who follow it, who talk about it the most, and then you can start kind of getting a bit more of a bigger picture of like who's behind that community, how it's been performing, and that's where you'll start seeing if things are going to change within the market and those sorts of things as well, which is quite exciting. It's a really nice way just to have a clear picture of what you're investing in and what's going on.
Good one, George.
Yeah,
I like that one.
That's why I spend most of my days just checking out what people are going to tweet and it's going to change your price.
I know you don't. But it's a good tip indeed. Yeah, Lunar Crush.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
So really what we've got coming up is obviously the ETF that's on the horizon. We're going to hold off talking about it for this week. It's a couple of moments away. This is more around a lightning catch up today. Was there anything else that we wanted to discuss before we close out?
Bitcoin alternatives too should do well.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Bitcoin Cash. Since Bitcoin is becoming so expensive that just the perception of buying Bitcoin seems like I can't afford that. It's $70,000, and they're not realizing that they can just buy fractions of Bitcoin.
I tried to explain that as well last week.
Yeah.
It was like, what? Sats? Why? Ethereum? Huh? Didn't understand it.
Yeah.
They were just thinking I need to buy Bitcoin. Oh, I can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Or that they're not going to get.
Buy fractions.
They're not going to get the upside. People go, oh, well, it's already had its moment. Everyone thinks they need to buy in at 0.03 cents, and it goes to $1 and that's how you make. And sure, there's lots of great stories on that. But equally, I think, the Bitcoin Cash, as we talked about before, that's a really nice one because it's around about $600 at the moment. So fairly manageable for like an entry level investment. You could own one of those and, you're not breaking the bank there. If it goes up, I mean, there were some big numbers thrown out earlier, but because it's up to 10 grand on the horizon.
Yeah, could go big, guys. Just because people view it as an alternative. Okay, I can't afford a Bitcoin, but Bitcoin Cash was a fork of Bitcoin, so it's actually quite similar to. It has the same benefits as Bitcoin does, and they had an ETF too, I believe, and that. When that happened, it jumped several $100s, and it was like maybe $400 or $500 to $700, something like that. So almost doubled.
Yeah, but I think it's you can compare it with buying an apartment instead of a villa. Yeah. You buy an apartment, and then it increases in value as well because a lot of people will want to have an apartment. So it's the same thing. Yeah,
there's Litecoin and Ethereum and all those guys. I mean, Ethereum's a different animal, but that they're having their ETF, so that I'm sure that'll make that go up as well. And XRP is supposed to have an ETF as well, and that's got the financial rails. I mean, So
there's so many things happening.
It's crazy. It all seems to be happening in this year, right? There's so much stuff going on. I think that's why it's so exciting. And also, we talked about alt season, and then a lot of the altcoins are on the Ethereum network. So it's like how will that impact onto the Ethereum price as well? Because you're going to have more people in the ecosystem, more retail investors, all those sorts of that snowball effect will start to roll out. So it's a really exciting time. I'm excited anyway.
Yeah, and it's good marketing, eh? People projects probably waited to do all the announcements. Yeah, because if you do an announcement in a bear market, it just goes down the drain. So
no, it doesn't work. This weekend we've got all the shows happening. Paris Blockchain's happening this week too.
Oh yeah,
yes,
yeah, true, yes. Okay.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up there for today. But tune in for next time, and thanks so much for listening. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.